So a good rule of thumb when it comes to meeting women and just meeting people in general is to seek to be memorable. Now, in order to be memorable to women, you have to do things that are memorable and just be a memorable person. So how do you do that? Let's begin. So the first 2 points are intertwined. Point number one, point number two. Point number one is to make her feel comfortable, and point number two is to stand out from other guys. You see, guys, the foundation for a woman's emotional attraction to a man is comfort, for her to feel comfortable with you. So let's explore that. A great way to get a woman comfortable with you is by doing more things with her, because the more things you do with her correctly, the more comfortable she'll be with you. So here's a great way to start that. I want you to take her, instead of just one dinner spot or one spot for the date and call it a night, I want you to have planned 2 to 4 different spots over the course of the date. Why? She's gonna see you as more fun and memorable, and also she'll get more comfortable to you, and she's going to associate you as being unique and different instead of the same as every other guy, in a positive way, of course. So what you'll do is, you'll have all spots planned, 2 to 4 spots, and you go ahead and send her a message along these lines. We're going to meet at Thursday at, for example, 6, 7 p.m., whatever time, whatever day. Show up, look cute, and I'll take care of the rest. Cool? Once she says cool, tell her great. Be prepared for an awesome time. I can't wait to see you. And then from there, here's what you do. The first spot you take her to, I personally, if it's at 6 or 7 o'clock, I wouldn't take her for coffee if it's that late. However, I would take her for food, but not at a spot that's super extravagant. I personally wouldn't take a girl to Fridays or Applebee's the first date, even though those spots aren't super extravagant, but still, I'd rather take it to a more casual spot. For example, burritos, or a decent looking diner, or a nice burger spot, but obviously not like McDonald's or anything like that. That's way too ghetto. But instead, that's what I do. I take her there first, and then if we connect after that 1 hour, for example, we spend like an hour at one of those spots. If we still connect, I go to the next spot for the date. The next spot typically would be something fun and that's gonna bring her guard down. For example, air hockey, bowling, just general arcade, shooting darts, billiards or pool, whatever you call it. Doing these things with a woman, you see, you're already at the second activity and you're also doing something that's playful and also not super exhausting. Bowling isn't that exhausting, shooting darts isn't that exhausting, air hockey is not that exhausting. Doing these things with a woman are very fun. They bring her guard down, and they do what? They make her comfortable towards you. And when she's comfortable, that's how she's going to get more emotionally attracted to you, and her guard will go down, which is exactly what your goal is. And then if you guys are still clicking after that, which most likely you will, for example, you could go for a dessert. Your third spot, whatever dessert spot you like, whatever type of dessert she likes, whatever type of dessert you like, you take her there, and then that's the third spot. You connect and build rapport with her. And then afterwards, you go to the fourth spot, which doesn't necessarily have to be a spot you pay for. It could be walking in the city. It could just be jamming to nice music in your car and just driving around. Just walking and looking at some nice buildings, some nice skyline you see, whatever it is, walking in a park. The whole point is you take her to 2 to 4 different spots over the course of one date, because in her mind, it's gonna feel like 2 to 4 different dates, even though it's just one date. And you're gonna stand out from 95 to 99% of the guys just by doing this. Most of those guys, the 95 to 99%ers, what they do is they take a girl to just one spot, Applebee's, Fridays, and then typically the guy's very nervous. Typically they're just sitting across from one another like it's an interview. She feels nervous, he feels nervous. He ends up asking questions that are very boring and they're not exciting in any way, they're not memorable. All the questions he asks warrant a response that are only like one-word answers instead of open-ended questions. So it's way too formal. Instead, you want to take the formality completely out of that. You want to be spontaneous and unpredictable, fun, and most importantly, memorable. Number 3, hold strong eye contact. Guys, this one is huge and at the same time, it's very easy to accomplish. All you have to do, instead of being all fidgety and looking left and right and not looking her in the eye, is just look her directly in the eye whenever you're talking to her or whenever she is talking to you. If you're too nervous, here's a good trick. Look and focus on one of her eyes, and as you're focused on her eyes, even if you're still nervous, focus more on listening to what she's saying more than on focusing on how she feels about you or worrying how she feels about you. Because the more you're in your head, you're not going to be present. That's when you're going to be anxious and looking left and right and all fidgety. You don't want to be that way. Instead, you want to be calm. Look her in the eye. A rule of thumb is just one eye. Lock eyes with one eye and have a nice grin that's approachable and easy for her to talk to. and just pay attention to what she's saying more than paying attention to how you think she feels about you. The more you do that, the more you'll get in the habit of actually being able to hold eye contact, which is a huge plus to most women because it communicates confidence. Number 4, be an active listener and listen way more than you speak. Guys, most guys unfortunately do the complete opposite. They're not active listeners, and at the same time, they speak way more than they listen. Why do they do it? They do it because they want her to like him, and at the same time, they think that by doing that, she's going to be impressed by his accomplishments. She's going to be impressed by what he's saying, when really, more times than not, it does the complete opposite. Instead, when you actively listen to what she's saying, actively and repeat back what you've heard to make sure you got it correctly, and try to remember, that's going to make you completely stand out from 95 to 99% of the other guys. Why? Because you're actually giving a shit about what she's telling you, and you're truthfully interested in her for her. Another thing you could do to be a good active listener and just a good conversationalist in general is by asking her open-ended questions instead of closed-ended questions. Closed-ended questions could be something like, where'd you grow up? What's your favorite color? The answer to all those questions is very closed, and it's only like 1 or 2 word answers. Instead, when you ask open-ended questions, you give her the opportunity to talk about herself, which will make her feel more appreciated, especially when you're listening. For example, questions like, what are you most passionate about? Who is the most influential person in your life and why? What are you most proud of? What is a secret that you've kept from every single person and no one knows about you? Those questions will not only get her talking, that's the first benefit. The second benefit is they're unique and they're open-ended. So when she starts talking about herself, you'll see her get very excited, and you should embrace that moment with her and share that excitement like I am right now, and be an active listener and repeat back what she said to you. That way she's going to associate you as someone who is memorable and special. Remember guys, it's about being memorable. Most men are not memorable. Most men aren't good listeners, and most aren't good conversationalists. But when you're actually listening, you're making yourself stand out from every other guy out there. Number 5, maintain your mystery. Guys, I know a lot of you are very overeager, and due to the fact that you're overeager, you're oversharing things about yourself to the point that you're just sharing everything, and then that totally destroys all attraction she has for you. Instead, what you should do is slowly reveal about yourself over time. And as a matter of fact, don't just reveal unless she asks. Unless she asks you questions, don't reveal. It's not that you're hiding or anything, but truthfully, let me ask you this question. When you met your best friend, did you and that best friend reveal every single thing about each other the first time you met? Probably not. More than likely, it happened naturally over time, slowly, until you eventually revealed everything towards each other and you established that trust. The same will apply here. You don't have to tell her everything. When she asks you a question, give her the answer. Don't hide. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's a game, but don't hide, but just reveal what you need to. Talk about what you need to. You don't need to necessarily get into the extreme details and the extreme depths of every single thing. Instead, reveal slowly and keep her curious. If you give her everything on the first date and you reveal every single thing about yourself, where's the curiosity? Some bitter Bettys might be watching this video and say, oh no, that's playing a game. It's not playing a game. If you're natural and you're confident in yourself, you're not just going to reveal everything to a person the first time you meet them. This is just general psychology. This is just us as human beings. If you reveal too much about yourself, the other person is just gonna feel like, this guy's weird. The same goes to friendships. If someone met you for the first time and they're sharing every little detail about themselves to you, you're probably gonna get weirded out. If they share more than normal with you, that's healthy because they felt comfortable with you, that's a different story. But if they share everything with you the first time, it's like, where's the mystery? Not only where's the mystery, it's just not natural. The same thing applies here. Share about yourself, what she needs to know, give her just the basics, don't need to go into details, don't reveal too much of your cards, and keep her on her toes a little bit. That'll keep her anticipating the next date. And it's always best when she's anticipating the next date because that makes her want to see you more and she sees you as mysterious in a good way, not in a way that you're hiding something from her. Doing these things are going to make you stand out from every other guy, and because of that, women will see you as memorable and unique, and therefore they're going to pursue you. And if you play your cards right, and obviously if she plays her cards right, a relationship can happen because she sees you as someone who is very special.